Hey, what's going on, guys? It's nathINSANE. Have you guys just wanted to Thanos snap everything out of existence and also make it disintegrate at the same time? Well, this is the build for you guys. This is probably my new favorite Warlock build. I know there's a ton of different builds out there, but this one is just overall really satisfying to use, and I'm going to go over it with you right now. I will throw the dim link below in the description and the comment section so that way you guys have a quick resource to it, and I will also put the mods and everything on the screen throughout the whole video, and I will go over this build if you guys want to listen to it and hear me explain the thought processes to why I'm running what I'm running. Then feel free. If not, whatever, I'm just here to inform you guys on fun builds, and if you guys want to support, that's cool. If not, that's also cool too. I'm just here to have fun. Alright, to start off with, I'm using Phoenix Dive because so when you land with Phoenix Dive and you have Necrotic Grips on, as you land you poison the area around you and it causes everything to get poisoned. It's pretty fun to use, and this ties in with our class item, Outreach, so when we use our class ability, it reduces our melee cooldown, so we're getting constant poison. Now this wouldn't be a Thanos snap build without Incinerator Snap, so you want to be obviously running this. You snap your fingers, you create a fan of burning sparks, and it kills everything around you, and all of these are actually poisonous now since we are running Necrotic Grips. And it's hilarious. Now it's user's choice on the grenade. I like solar nades because with the aspect we are running, Touch of Flame, you get to poop out little lava bullets, and that's hilarious to watch. But you could also use fusion nades because those do big chunky DPS too, but you know, user's choice, whatever you guys want to use. Since we're going to just be eating it for heat rising anyway, it's not super imperative as long as you're getting it charged up quickly, and that's why we have this build. Now we're using Touch of Flame to get that longer duration for our solar nades or whichever nades we are using. That's why you were using that aspect. And heat rises when you, obviously if you know heat rises, you consume your grenade, but now with final blows while airborne, increase the duration of heat rises and grant melee energy. So when you're getting kills with Skyburner's Oath in the air, which I'm going to recommend using because it's hilarious to use now and great for ad clear, it ties in with our fragments, you get your melee back way faster. It's pretty insane. I love this new perk. So I'm using Ember of Torches because when we are snapping our fingers, we are making everybody radiant and ourselves. I'm using Ember of Blistering, so when you defeat these targets with solar conditions, you get grenade energy, thus we can keep going with heat rises. I'm also using Ember of Solace, so radiant and restoration effects applied to you last longer. And then Ember of Searing, defeating scorched targets grants melee energy. That's why we're using Skyburner's Oath, because you are scorching targets when you shoot them. I will say Skyburner's Oath isn't a bare necessity, a simple bare necessity to run. I just like to use it in these activities because it's great for ad control and it's just real fun to use at the moment. But you can use stuff like Sunshot and whatever you really want to use. I just always prefer using a solar since I'm using solar stuff. It just makes the most sense for synergy. Now for the armor mods and loadout, I'm using Skyburner's Oath as I said, that way I'm scorching enemies, and this ties in with our helmet, Harmonic Siphon, rapidly defeating enemies with a final blow that matches your damage type of your subclass, creates orbs of power. This will tie in later. Also the other mod I am using is Hands On, gain bonus super energy for melee kills. Since we're getting a ton of melee kills, this gives you super faster. And finally, Elemental Charge. When you pick up an Elemental Well, you get Charge with Light, and if the Elemental Well happens to be matching the subclass that you are running currently, you get 2 charges of Charge with Light. Now I took a little inspiration off of Astrocross's video. Now I've tried out a couple of different builds with this loadout. I actually like the heavy-handed build a bit more. It just is very noticeable that I'm getting my melees and abilities back faster whenever I'm using my charged melee ability. It's a lot of really good synergy there, and if you haven't checked his Roy Mustang build out, it's definitely a must. Go sub to Astrocross. Love that dude. Now here's the bread and butter of this build. We have Necrotic Grips. Damaging combatants envenoms them with poison and deals increasing damage over time. Defeating a poison combatant spreads the condition to nearby targets. Hilarious to use. You can watch enemies just die and spread it and keep dying, and it does more damage over time, and all it takes is the snap of your finger. For the mods on Necrotic Grips, I'm using Seeking Wells, so that way the elemental wells we create just come to me and I don't have to go searching for them, and I am constantly getting charged with light. And then Momentum Transfer, causing damage with a grenade, reduces your melee cooldown. Now this one's kind of iffy. You probably won't be using your grenade too often since you're going to be eating it, but if you do happen to use it, you get your melee back quicker. Now for the big mod, Heavy Handed. While charged with light, regain half your melee ability when you use a charged melee ability. consuming 1 stack of your charge with light. And on top of that, we're using invigoration ×2, so that way when we pick up an oracle power, we are getting a reduced melee cooldown. Now for the class item, I'm using outreach ×2, reduces your melee cooldown when using your class ability. This ties into Phoenix Dive because we are landing down and poisoning everything and causing damage, and also elemental armament since we are going to be spamming Skyburner's Oath. And that's the build, guys. If you guys have any questions or have any additions you would like to make to this build, please feel free to comment below. I am an open book and all for gathering as much ideas and different ways of optimizing builds as possible. This one is just one of my favorites. It's super fun. I've used it with Monte Carlo, so that way I'm constantly getting my melee back too. It's just, there's a lot of different ways you can do this build, so don't feel like you have to do it exactly how I'm doing it. Feel free to modify it, feel free to try different things, and if you come up with something better, please comment it. I love trying out different things and trying out different builds. Destiny has taken a different direction, and I love the versatility of builds and that you don't have to be constrained to one style of play. There's multiple forms of builds and multiple ways to play the game now, so feel free to share it. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like it, thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and I will catch you guys in the next one. So long and good night.